This camera need to know how to focus. Well, hello ladies and women, welcome back to the thing that you like, the only, the one, me. So today we're talking about the process of making that one video, the Michael Jackson birds, baby. Yeah, so that's the video that I made. The process was very long, bro. I was recording it with OBS as well. I recorded up like 23 hours of work, and can you believe that? And I did edit it down to get it like an hour or something to make like a little movie about the whole thing. I made it dramatic. I really wish that this camera knew how to focus or anything. So this is not like a very educational video. This is just like a more of a documentary video about how I did the thing, the behind the scene of it. But yeah, of course I will show you a lot of technical stuff in here, don't worry about that. However, so first thing first, I did start the work by getting into Mixamo website, because I didn't want to like edit a character from the beginning. So I got their mannequin model and I downloaded it, and I hoped on Instagram to get that one video from Faisal's DM. That's the guy. Faisal is my guy. He the one that told me to make 3D out of this to make this video in 3D, and I will be skyrocketing. If I'm not skyrocketing this one in here, I'm gonna skyrocket him. I imported the model into Blender, and I started a little modifications here, like deleting what's below the knees, and to have it like this little birdie stem legs, and also made like these little fingers and stuff. And here, if you want to reset the position of the rig, you will just need to delete these keyframes and then hit F3 and search for reset unkeyed, and it should be resetting the rig inside of your mesh. Now I was struggling with trying to parent the model with rig, so I did about 10 loop cuts in here on the leg, so when animating I can be able to bend the legs to be bending like the animation in here. And don't forget to save your project though. And now I'm gonna tell you about a very interesting topic, which is hair. So I got into the particle system tab, and the dogs are playing outside. They are on that gang shit all night long, and I switched the particle system from emitter to hair, and I enabled the hair dynamics. Did hit play to make sure that that's gonna work properly without wibbly wobbling, and it's kind of fine. The size that I got my model, the model that I got from that one website, is very perfect. You don't have to resize it at all, and the hair system will work properly with you on that model thingy. So don't resize, make sure you don't do that, because sometimes when you remodel the model, the hair dynamic systems act differently and not in a good way. So here I decrease the length of the hair particles a little bit and start to play with the simulation a little bit. And don't forget to change the render engine to cycles and the device to GPU compute. Yeah, so you check that interpolated setting here to make sure that the wig look more dense. This is kind of like an alternative of just increasing the number of the hair seed, as it kind of like multiply the single hair, so the one hair acts like something. So we have here like 300 hair that act along that one hair. So the computer have to calculate the movement of 1000 here, and each of the 1000 here gets like multiplied around itself. I think that's what I like concluded from myself. Not I didn't like read it anywhere or anything, but I think that's the scenario here. So that's what make it a little easier for the computer to calculate. I actually did go on the internet and search for this little tutorial on how to make feather with hair particles in Blender, and I found this one tutorial here. And the thing that makes the hair like a little stiff here, you won't believe me, it's actually the stiffness. So you need to increase the stiffness a little bit to act like feathers like this. However, we don't need all that feathers like to appear on every and each part on the body here. Like we don't need it to appear on the hands, below the knees, like the peaks and stuff and so on. So we made like a little vertex group. We called it the hair parts, and we did assign the density of the particle system for that vertex group. Now for the eyes, I actually didn't want to like bother making eyes for that thing because I already got eyes in another project. So I did hit append and hopped on another file for for that one other project and grabbed the eyes from it. It actually came to the model with some family here because it was like it was like children with other objects. So yeah, it came with all the friends and stuff, so you have to delete what comes with it and just keep what you want. So I already did everything. I could just keep the eyes and actually hopped onto the material of that eye and changed the color of the eye to a little yellowish color because in the anime it was yellow. It was looking a little yellow, yeah. However, I did make that one constraint that I was making here again to constrain with that one hip bone. So when you move the hip bone, the eyes move with it. And you do that to the other eye, of course. Now I tried to make a little render, so I set up the scene like a little basically here. I made like a simple sky thing, and I changed the color of the background, changed the color of the ground, and made that one little render. And after that I got into the texture paint tab because I wanted to like do this little part in here that was colored in the anime, and I did color it myself like this. To be honest with you, to make it more precise, I did get a screenshot from the anime itself and I imported it into Color Blender so I can pick up the exact color code for that color, and I did color, and I made sure that each bird in that anime, like it had like different peak and legs colors. I made sure that I got this addressed into my anime as well. Then I did duplicate the character to make like the black one, and I actually like duplicated the material and the texture and to have that to carry the information of the different colors. And I realized that in the anime the black bird specifically got like this little standing hairs above his forehead, so I made sure I got this into my animation as well. And about the tail. So yeah, about the tail, we was talking about the coloring, the colors that we had on the tail when he had like this part a little blue and this part a little light blue. So we need to make the gradient. So I got a tutorial for that, and it actually used the gradient nodes and stuff in the material thing. And actually I did select the part that we needed to get that tail coming up from, because I had to make another particle system for that thing because it got like different information, which is the length of the hair. The length of the tail hair is much longer than the body hair itself, so that's why I got it on another different particle system. And I did assign the vertex group for that tail part also to make that second particle system showing up at that thing. And I did assign the density for that thing here, and I adjusted the length that I wanted to, and I activated the hair dynamics also, and I increased the stiffness, of course, so it's now a little stiff like that. It's kind of feathery, and I got it, and I did duplicate the material for that hair part here to apply the gradient material thing here. And here I did apply the tutorial that I've just watched. The process was a little easy. You can just see the tutorial, it was helpful. And I did pick up the right colors, of course. And I did add a little glossy node here in the material. It got my thing a little blingy. I gotta blink all the time, you know what I'm saying? I also did duplicate the materials for the other one and do the same thing for the tail, but in black and red. Now let's welcome back an old friend, Abdul Azim. that's the model that I've just created for one of the music tracks that I got on my first album. It's for honoring Abdulazim, to be honest with you, but yeah, I actually did model this the closest I could for Abdulazim, that cockatiel type of bird. So I brought this here to be like a reference. By the way, that video didn't come out yet, that got Abdulazim in it, but yeah, I should be releasing that thing very soon, this year or something, in August, for his anniversary. So yeah, I did adjust the length of the timeline for the whole animation, so I just know where I should stop that video. To be honest with you, I kind of hopped on the internet to find like a realistic, ready-to-use model for free, just to use, because I wanted this process to be as fast as possible and also to be realistic as possible. But to be honest, I couldn't like find something that is close to what I want and free, so I kept on browsing, found some cool stuff. I did get that skull head of the duck. I don't know what that thing was. I just got it. I just couldn't let it go. It was free, man, and I found that cool chicken, but I think I didn't bother to download it, but I just like the art of it. However, I started to model my bird myself, because I just came back to the thing that I just want to be original and think. So I did model what I could model in here, and I did apply that mirror modification thing so it can be as symmetric as possible. I was working on the low poly thing, and I did subdivide at the end, of course. Here you are, a time lapse for the modeling process. And I did make the peak in here. To be honest with you, that was I did fumble a little bit while making the peak. I made it a little bit longer than the original thing, but yeah, anyway, I added chip keys later to like animate the facial things and the peaks and anything, so and stuff. So some of the facial expressions was pretty accurate from the frames that we got here, and I did get the eyes, of course, as well. Model the legs, the toes, and things. I also did rig the thing, and I did duplicate the left part over to the right part. And the peak part, the lower peak specifically, annoyed me a little bit because I think it was not like weighted right with the bone, so I had to like do some painting as I could remember. But don't worry, I did take care of the thing. The thing I do meet like some problems in here, but yeah, maybe because all of the problems that I face is just because I'm a little bit stupid. That's all. I find the solutions and stuff. But yeah, of course, I think that you will meet problems anyway. Everybody meet his own problems and stuff. So to be honest with you, as I'm watching the replay right now, right here, I'm not sure what was the problem was. So that's why I'm not like saying what's gone here with me. But yeah, it's either was a weight painting problem that I have to paint manually, or I just had to like make the lower peak as a separate model and just link it with bones for that thing, and that's all. And I think that that's what I did, actually, to be honest with you. After that, I did this little repositioning for the bird. The rig was just fine, I guess. And here I prepared my rig for that inverse kinematics things that helps me control the rig more easily than just controlling every bone on its own. Here I added the hand controller thing, and here for the leg as well. I tried, to be honest with you, to like rotate the fingers and the feet with the leg controller thingy by adding a copy rotation constraint thing, but it was not working properly, as it was like snapping all of the toes that I was applying the copy rotation thing with it was a bone. So I didn't bother knowing how to offset it and or to try to explore how to offset it and all that kind of stuff. So I just ignored the thing and just didn't bother adding a full rotation thingy on the feet. And also I added the knees and elbows controller so I can make sure where the elbow is, because as you see here in the video face cam, my hand is just almost fixed in the 3D world, but the elbow can move while this controller thing is fixed. So when I'm moving this, I can move it, but when I fix it, the elbow itself can move on its own. So that's why adding knees and elbows controllers is important. And here I tried to add that red part on the bird's chest again, but I didn't want it to be pointy like this, so I just did like simple UV editing here. Now I try to adjust the hair parts here on that thing. To be honest with you, I forgot about this, but actually you can increase the length of some specific parts of the particle system here, the thing that you have in here, by going into the particle editing tab and do your edits. So I had like the hair that coming out from the arm, I wanted to be a little longer because you know the bird got big feathers under his arm other than the whole body thing. I did a little render here. I feel like the head is a little bit long, so I did resize it a little bit to be a little more cute. And I actually did create another texture for the little light brown bird, the female one. I did pick up the color from the thing and leave it here. I also added the color for the stomach thing here and the chest. For that part, UV editing it and pulling up these vertices to the bottom right corner of the texture and adding that yellowish color thingy for the bird. Now let's talk about the eyelids and the eyebrows. For the eyelids, I found this tutorial here that helped me a lot. The basic thing about it that we're just gonna use a shape keys thingy. This tutorial was a little bit wholesome, so don't forget to give that tutorial a like. So I added that basic thing here, the first key thing. This is going to be like the default shape for the thing. Then adding another key for raising that upper eyelid. I did, of course, edit every eyelid on its own. I did that little rotation. Now, when you move between the two keys, you have the two eyelids, the upper one and the lower one moving together. I did adjust the face a little bit more, to be honest with you, and while I was doing this I found this little trippy thing here. I had fun with it actually. I love this psychedelic stuff here. Look how trippy this thing is. Looks artistic as well. So while I was working here I did deselect some of the areas in the face here from that vertex group that showed some hair parts on, because the hair was a little bit long, so the eyes was just like buried under the hair. So I just wanted to like decrease the area here a little bit so the eyes and stuff can show from the face, so we can leave some space for the eye. And I did of course child the eyelids with the same bone that I child the eyes with, so we got the eyelids moving along with the rig as well. I kept playing on that thing. I was loved with it actually, to be honest with you. It was a little bit trippy as also it can blink fast, it can blink slowly. I felt like I unlocked new feature that will take my animation to another new next step thingy, so I like it. I have to piss, to be honest with you. I'll be back. I'm back, ladies and women. I tried to narrow that area to just make it just specific for the eyes more, so we don't like leave very large areas of the face that doesn't got feather on it, because we don't need a bold face. I didn't want it anyway, so but I mean that was the less stupid and more making sense thing that I could think of. So yeah. And while I was modeling the face, I accidentally made the eyebrows, so I thought about adding key shapes for that as well, and the thing was a little bit freaky, to be honest with you. I added a key for the two eyebrows, a key for one eyebrow, another key for the other eyebrow, and also I added another keys for raising the eyebrows when you are sad, raising the eyebrows when you are happy, all that kind of stuff. I made a lot of variety in here. Also I had to add another facial expressions for the mouth, so I added like some smiles and I played with it as well.
Oh, you touch my tra-la-la. My ding-ding-dong.
Very bipolar expressions in here. He was literally me. I also added this another face expression for when he's sad. I found out that in the frame, in the real animation, the peak was a little bit smaller, so I got it smaller like this. And I made another extreme sad faces near. I don't remember if I used it in the animation, to be honest, but yeah. Then I hopped on the 3D models website thingy, and I got this little tree because I didn't bother making trees. I didn't bother making birds, but I made birds anyway. But I didn't bother making trees, and I downloaded the tree things. I didn't make trees anyway. Getting ready to use models takes your scene to the next level, because it increases the level of realism from here to there. I couldn't apply the material properly for some reason, because I was a little bit stupid at the time. So I tried to get a little more similar tree like this one in here, and I couldn't apply the material as well, but I did try with it until I could apply, and I found a way. So I realized that I could apply the same way on the other more complex trees, so I kept both of them in the scene to make variety of trees. And I made this one little render in here. So yeah, so the whole trick was about that I just need to know what was the name of the material inside of Blender, then just relocate these images from the file explorer itself. I don't think that this was the more proper way to do the thing, but it just did the thing, so I don't care. Here you can see the file explorer, by the way, because I was keeping it in the other screen. So yeah, I was pulling up the files from that file explorer from this screen to Blender, and because the problem was that when I imported the trees inside of Blender didn't know exactly where these files are on the computer, so I had to re-importing them again inside of Blender. Then I did this little render, but I realized that was a missing part as well, so I re-added it again, and now we are fine. I did this little render, and the realism started to increase a little bit. I tried to adjust this one little tree in here, because this was actually the star tree that got our star in the beginning of video. So I prepared the branch to be able to have my man standing on it in the beginning of the thing. I did reposition my man here and made a little render. I also changed the background color of the world to try to start matching it with the real animation thingy, but that was a little basic. It was more complex than that. Now let's talk a little bit about lighting. I added a sun in here. It's just a simple light. You just change the type to sun and made it a little yellowish because the scene was not very white. On that background, I didn't keep it very plain, so I did add a noise texture for it and combine it with two colors, green and a little darker green thingy. But I actually did want to add the sun to appear from behind that one specific tree, so I did actually append another world from another project here that I could replace the sun. The dynamic sky, by the way, is something that was built in Blender. I'm not sure if it's still in the new versions or not, but I was in love with that thing. It was helping me a lot. OGs will know what I'm talking about when they see this kind of skies. Somehow I did figure out what was the sun node in here, and I replaced it with a moon for one specific scene that I'm working on another project that didn't come out yet as well. So I tried to pull that in my bird project thingy to replace it again with the sunset sun, but the thing was more complex than me and I started tweaking, so yeah, just got rid of it. Started figuring out another way for that. So I hopped on another friend of mine, which is Krita. So I started making this grading stuff here to make the sky a little green on the bottom, to make the green lands from far away, a little lighter green, a little orange sunset, and I did blur the whole image to make it blended like this. Then I started adding with this grass brush in here to make it a little bit detailed, and I did pull that inside of Blender, tried to reposition it again. And one thing that I like about when I'm working with Blender is that you actually get to hear anything. You can hear music and stuff. You can even hear your friends in Discord and thingy. So I was chatting with one of my friends and I just was listening to some heartbreaking conversation, man. I mean, I was up late at night working and talking to that one friend, but when I watched their play, goddamn man, the thing was hitting hard. And to rewatch that thing is kind of a little painful, but it's right. Cause why is he telling the truth? However, the conversation was over. I wanted to install the extra models add-on. extra mesh objects was the name of the add-on, and I wanted this to add some random rocks for the scene. I really had a vision of making this as like realistic as possible, but I think I made it realistic enough. That's all, yeah. And I found this wall as well that I wanted to play with a little bit, and after I played with the thing, I didn't like remove it. I just kept it in the scene. You'll even find it in the last shot of when the birds are dancing. Now I came back to work with lightings again. So I added this little spotlight here to light up my bird on the tree because he's very black and there is no light that is lighting him except the light that is coming from his back. So that's why I added this spotlight. It's not very realistic to have like light that is coming out from the ground, I know, but this is art in the end of the day, so I just wanted the thing to appear properly. And I tried to reposition these trees that was in the first shot to have the sun coming through properly. I also added this area lighting thing here, and I added it on the ground and repositioned it upside down to light what's above, not what's below. And to be honest with you, I had a lot of this yellow color in the sky that I didn't want, so I just decreased it a little bit in the texture that I was working on in Krita. So now we got less of it and more of the orange color. I also added a little dark orange here that was a little bit brown to make it a little bit more darker because we're trying to make a sunset scene right now. I also added these lights in here. I didn't like leave it on green on purpose, but yeah, I just wanted to add like different colors to see the effect. After that I changed the color. To be honest with you, I think that I was trying to leave the other light in green to like make it match the original animation in here. So it's more of greening the scene instead of just adding a green light thing. So that was the purpose of that green light in here. Now I wanted to create the visible sun rays in Blender. ChatGPT told me to add a cube and give it a volumetric material thingy and play with the density and
anisotropy
and sun power. And I did a little render. I just got my scene a little bit foggier in here, and I don't want that. I want the weather to be nice. I want everything to be clear, but I just wanted like some of these clear sun ray thingies. So I just wanted the balance between the thing. So I told ChatGPT, hey man, I don't want this thing to be that foggy, and also want the sun rays to be visible. So he told me about the secret formula, the numbers. The less density and the more anisotropy, the more the scene will look like what I want. So I made the density stay at 0.004 and the anisotropy to stay at 0.9. And I kept the sun power at 10. And I also decreased the power of that spotlight that I made in the beginning. However, I took a break. 1 hour later I came back, started to reposition the bird to make my first render thingy. And I started to actually rotate the sun, and I found out that rotating the sun actually helped a lot when having all of these trees to know exactly where do you need these sun rays to come from. I just found the perfect match and I got the cinema level type of shot. I started to reposition the lady, started working on the depth of field of that camera. Blender has depth of field feature actually that I'm in love with, and I took my things to the next level when I found about that thing. I actually knew that it was there, but when I found about how to do that thing, you need to get into the camera tab here and check that depth of field settings in here. The focus object is the thing that the camera will focus on and blur the rest of the thing. However, you're focusing on the closer part or the further part, because yeah, sometimes you can focus on the further part and to get what's closer than that thing be outside of the focus. After that I added plane axis and I renamed it to focus for the camera. Then I tried to reassign the thing, but I couldn't find it because I was actually using the search box, so I renamed it again. Then I assigned the thing with thing. After that you need to get into this little viewport shading settings in here, and you need to check depth of field so you can see your settings in while you're working in the viewport thing. Then after that you play with the f-stop value. that will change the depth of field. And also you can change the position of that axis that we added earlier. That will change the focus of the camera. So you can animate the position of that axis, then you're animating the focus as well. So it will help, for example, for the first shot in the scene when it was changing the focus from the lady to that bird that was standing over the tree over there. So yeah, it will help you in changing the focus back and forth when you animate this axis. Pretty cool feature that I'm in love with. I found that my lady was a little bit darker, so I tried to add a little spotlight from underneath her. Was unrealistic, I know, but the camera was from down here, so I just wanted it to appear. And also because I didn't save my texture in here on my computer, I had to recolor it again. So please make sure to save that texture on your computer so you don't have to recolor it again. Thank God we was just like coloring simple stuff in here. Maybe you have like a very complex texture, and if you didn't save it, you will have to redraw it all again from beginning, like make a chameleon type of game. Then I made my first render in here. That one render took like 18 minutes. My nigga, that's crazy. However, I kept on testing multiple settings with multiple renderings about the noise threshold thing. So the noise threshold thing is a value that when you change, Blender detects either earlier or later about when there is like a specific amount of noise. That threshold tells Blender to, hey, stop rendering that photo and just apply the denoising technology thing. That's an AI thing, I think. I'm not sure. That was like before even AI come out. It even looked like the AI renders, the cheap AI renders, if you like get this noise threshold value very high. Yeah, so kind of like the computer is gonna make like a little amount of noise, then stop a little earlier, so that AI thing, it doesn't have a lot of information to work with to the noise, so it's gonna make the image a very wibbly wobbly. That's why I don't like the AI renders, to be honest with you, but yeah, it can help you sometimes when you decrease that threshold a little bit, so it denoise the grain and stuff on the image. But to generate, it's kind of wobbly and I don't like it. So I tried 0.05. It finished in 3 minutes. I got the image like this. I tried 0.03, finished in 6 minutes 55 seconds, almost 7 minutes. So I realized that the 0.03 got me the best balance between the quality and time. So I animated the whole animation with the setting 0.03 noise threshold. I started comparing images before I like confirmed that to, of course. And the image that was rendered in 18 minutes was the best one, of course, because this was like actual rendering and actual calculations in here, not just AI thinking of what you want to do. But I found that 0.04 noise threshold was not even that good. It was really bad to look at. But 0.03 was the beginning of looking at decent stuff. So yeah, I just confirmed the 0.03. And of course, yeah, it will be different from one project to another. This project got one of the most complex shots to work on ever with this sun rays and stuff. So that's why you had to give the GPU some time to work. Like, look here, the difference between the noise and smooth one. After that, I started animating the movement of the characters with their facial expressions as well. And here you are, a little time lapse for that. After that, I went on a vacation for a week, and a couple of days I came back and I started locking in on the thing until I finished the animation to the end. And here you are, another time lapse. And while I was playing with that man here, I wanted to rig the fingers in here to ease the animation of the fingers. So when I, like, for example, move this little joint in here, all of the finger can move with it. If I move that joint in here, the other joints move with it as well. So I didn't want to like move that joint. After that I move that joint. After that I move that joint. So yeah, this tutorial helped with that thing here. I actually knew how to do it from before, but I just wanted to remember. So and to be honest with you, after some manual animatings in here, I came to the part when he was doing his little dance, when he was like doing this little footwork in here. I kind of like was I was like, I'm done with manual animating. I wanted ready to go animation that was motion captured or something. So I got this one in here. I got it inside of Blender, but the hands was not like very accurate of what the birds were doing, so I deleted the keys from the upper part of the body and I just kept the keys for the legs only. And I started as I will be animating the arms myself manually. When I got this little animation that was ready to go thing, I didn't apply it on the model that I was working on, so I duplicated the model and applied the keys on it, and I was switching the models back and forth. When I wanted this to do this little footwork thing, I was reanimating it back into the scene, and I was animating them back into the scene and stuff. So it was seamless. It's kind of like one frame the bird is here, the other frame he's not there, and swapping between the two birds that I was working on because they had different rigs and stuff. Because the inverse kinematic things, I thought that it will not work properly if I just applied random animations from the internet. And also I did get the animation from the place that I got this rig from anyway, so that's why it worked fine. While I was animating all of this thing, I was thinking about the tears. When it comes to the part when I have to animate the tears, I was a little bit worried if it will be an easy or hard process. But anyway, I find a solution, so I just watched this little tutorial in here, but I didn't apply it exactly as he kind of like made a tear and he did animate it along a curve or something, but that's not what I wanted to. As in the actual animation I got here, the bird got like this long tear thing, not just a simple droplet that is walking down his face. So I did use shape keys instead. I did make a little machine here, shaped it like tear, and gave it another variation of keys, so it's wibbly wobbling and getting from the eyes to inside. And also I did animate it getting a little thinner, as if it got drier. And I did add a rock in here to animate the part when the bird came back and did lean on that rock and kept on crying as well. And I did animate the other tear for the other eye on its own as well. And I did give it some variation so it's wibbly wobbling. However, for some reason when I animated and I calculated the hair parts hide on most of his face at this scene anyway. So, but yeah, the thing happened here. You can see the tear wibbly wobbling inside of his eye when I hit play. I was proud of it anyway. Now I can like use it in another projects anyway. So the thing that I know now how I can tear with eyes overall, including tears, eyelids, eyebrows, and so on. And I was animating the camera along the way, of course, along the scene with its focus. Whenever the camera is moving, the focus is moving with it as well. Always with constant interpolation, unless if there was some movement, of course. And while I was also animating the rest of the animation, I was thinking about the part when the bird will have to blush. But I didn't like think that this part is going to be that hard, to be honest with you, because I feel that it's gonna be a little easy. I feel like I could do it myself anyway, but the tutorial helped me, to be honest with you. It helped me with making the texture of the blush itself, like the lines inside of the circle and so on. And also by making these little feather edges. And I think that I did add transparency in the things so it can disappear in the middle of the... There is an Easter egg inside of that animation, by the way. If you looked closely, you will find that the eye blushes was right there the whole animation, but it was just like black because it was disappeared. Because I didn't bother animating them outside of the scene, I just kept them there because I thought, hey, they are transparent, just keep them in. But they just left some shadows on the ground, so that was ridiculous. I'm not sure if you realized it or not. Just tell me if you could realize it from without me telling you. Then there was this one shot here that I wanted to add some lights in it to reflect the shadows of that bird on that bird to be like the exact real animation, but the bird was black anyway, so I couldn't reflect any shadows. That was a little bit of a challenge for me, but I don't care. I didn't record the rest of the work. I have to piss just once. After I finished working on the animation part, I didn't record any more footages because I was running out of space, man. This whole of 23 hours of recording was... What? 248 gigabytes on my device, man. Yes, I do got almost 4 terabytes of storage, but they are over now. And I'm just like rushing this video because I actually want to finish editing all of these footages and get rid of them because I don't have space on my storage to breathe. However, so the rest of the work was simple work anyway. I just kept like adding random movement of the camera in between every switch so it can be like shaking and so on. And I also added another directional light that I animated along the animation to light the dark parts because the scene was not like clear enough, it was a little bit dark. After that I had them total of 5 characters moving into the scene. The first bird and the lady, the bluebird dancing. The bluebird dancing again with another keyframes, I already told you about that. And the blackbird that was dancing at the end in a human form. There was total of 5 characters in the scene. Every and each character of them had 2 particle systems in them, so it was total of 10 particle systems on that thing. So I wanted to like bake all of these dynamic systems and put them in something like a queue without me waiting for every and each one to finish on its own and bake them manually. So I wanted like something that was there that will bake all of my dynamics in just one click. But that was not like built in Blender, unfortunately. So I tried with ChatGPT to give me a solution or give me like a code that can help me do such things automatically, but I couldn't do anything with it. The best that I went with was a code that got my PC working and doing some cache files, but without like confirming the thing at the end for some reason. It was a very messy work here. Until Faisal showed up and he made me an add-on thingy that helped me queue and organize my thing, but it didn't work. It got into the same mess, to be honest with you. But yeah, I really honor him for that. We gotta honor him for that work anyway. He gotta get that credit thingy. But yeah, how did I bake the thing? I just baked them manually one after the other, like the simple process, and it was much easier and with less mess, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's all. After that I did the render. The first shots was took the most period of time because I was enabling this volumetric lighting thingy for the visible sun rays. There was a part where the frame was taking 6 minutes of rendering and stuff, but after that one shot is gone, I just disabled the volumetric box because I wanted to render a little bit faster, and the sun rays was not like necessarily until the end of the video. So the computer was rendering the frames in 30 seconds from once I removed that box thingy, volumetric box. I had them like 2500 frames or something like that, so didn't want to have this finishing in 1 month or something. I mean, I already had projects that rendered in months or more, but I just wanted to get this done as fast as possible to have it on the internet before the trend is over. And yep, that was all. I just really want to thank you for sticking around until the end of that video. I really appreciate you, man, for that. The video is probably a little bit messed up because yeah, I'm not like talking properly. Maybe you are overwhelmed or something, but I really hope that this video turned out to be good for you and that you learned something from it or something. However, if you need more of these videos, I still got like another larger video for that is going to be a documentary like this that I gotta work on as well to free more of storage. It will be out at some time. But yep, I'm gonna close that video in here, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I really wish you a wonderful life, a wonderful health, wonderful work, wonderful sleep, and Assalamu alaikum. So yeah, Roboto, it's really nice to meet up with you today, man, in this beautiful day, beautiful weather, beautiful bright sun, the summer sun that you like, right? Yeah, it's really nice and sunny day here. I've been waiting for that time from year to year. I'm in love with that very hot weather, especially when I'm fasting, and I've just did a lot of effort, man, running 10 kilometers under the sun while fasting. Now I'm feeling for that cold lemonade thingy or whatever fruit juice is. Really feeling for a ton of sugar, man, that is liquefied because I really want to drink. I'm just dehydrated. I don't want a food right now. I just want pure juice. So yeah, about the video, don't you think that you spend like a lot of effort doing it manually while the AI is literally right there? Yeah. Like, was that effort worth it at the end of the day? be honest with you, I wasn't really fan with that AI thing in the beginning, and I was like, what's the point of, that's not art anymore. You just type random words for the computer, then he generates the image for you. That's just really random, man. That's not art. And also, I was thinking that AI, one way or another, got that material from somewhere on the internet. He didn't like get this out of his head, so he's just connected with the internet. He collects stuff and blend them together. I thought that's the way the AI worked at the beginning. I didn't like that. That's not art. Like, man, me personally, I generate whatever from my head. I can like literally go to bed, sleep about something, then wake up and try to implement implement this in my art, in my craft. Like this one video that I made about me riding a jet over the beautiful Cairo. I dreamt about that, man, with this specific stunt that was in the beginning. I was standing above the jet, then the jet fell and I fell behind it, then I clutched getting inside the jet and started it. That was a real dream that I dreamed about. It's not stolen from anywhere or inspired by anything. That's just me. In my opinion, that's art. Like it or not, love it or not, agree with me or not, I believe my work was art. However, also, even the work, if it's not going to turn out to be that exact perfect, at least I know that I had fun with the process, man. The old ways with Blender is much fun. Like, you work days, weeks, months, even months, man, over the single project until you come out with this 3 minutes craft. So the story is not about the video, it's about the journey, man. So that's a beautiful thing that will stay with its time at the end. But if you thought about it from the business part, yeah, the market is very competitive right now, and people paying shit ton a lot of money on AI, man, work. So if that's it, okay, that's it. So I think that I just have to get into the AI thing sooner or later to be able to at least keep up with new technology, man, and not act like the old generation. You know what got me to think like differently about AI lately? When I once did read some comments on Instagram on an AI video, when a specific comment, one comment was saying people make such videos or something like that, then call it art. I agreed with him, but I went into the reply, something changed my mind. Like, back in that day, people was like doing their crafts on paper, paints, whatever, with pencil, like real material that you can like, real colors, stuff like that. And when computers showed up, when computers showed up and the Photoshop, all this digital art showed up, they were like, man, that's not art, man. But eventually Blender and all that digital work was confirmed to be art, literally. So yeah, I believe that the way that I need AI to be in the future, so at least me personally can confirm that it's art, when you have full control over whatever the AIs generate, man. Like I once saw like a pipeline or workflow while connecting nodes with each other, and inside of these nodes you had like still frames and stuff, and the AI was like connecting the stuff with it and making the video. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. It's Adhan al-Asr, bro. So yeah, so our old generation did the mistake that they just didn't want to keep up with the technologies, and they just kept going negative on the thing. However, even though I still think that AI is not going to be like good future for our kids and stuff, but as a grown man I just gotta deal with it. But I don't think that this is like a good time to give birth for a child, man. I mean, Allah doesn't decide something bad. Having children is great and everything, but it's even really competitive now to take care of these children, man. You can't just like leave the phone for them and make them deal with AI and stuff. Like, one of the AIs that I was talking with was a bot inside of Discord, man. That bot was really roasting me, man. He was like saying bad words, stuff. So I did believe that if this piece of machinery was put inside of a body, a strong body, this can beat the shit out of us, man. For real. We are done. We are cooked. I was laughing about the people that were saying this before, but call me crazy, it's going to be war machines, not just that cute little information machinery. Everything is going to be competitive until we run out of energy, man. So yeah, I did spend a lot of time on the process of that MJ bird, dancing birds for some reason remake. I'm not trying to steal that idea, by the way, because also, yeah, while making the process, in the middle of the process, I saw a video for an Egyptian YouTuber that is called Mahmoud Ismail, and he was talking about the people that are stealing from each other on the internet and stuff. The real issue is not about the people stealing. The real issue is about the audience that still reacts with all this kind of stuff. They may even react better on a copy more than the copied version. That's the annoying part. People need to be more creative, to find their own ways in life, need to get off the phones. I'm telling you, yeah, even if this will take you off me and of watching my videos, do that. Get out, get some life. Find some grass like me. Go play some sports. Start some business, do 3D animations, do whatever productive stuff. Just stop the straight consuming, man. Me personally, if I give birth for a child, I'll never give him a phone until he's grown enough and learn about real masculinity and stuff. I'm even thinking about homeschooling him, man. I don't believe in schools. I was in school, and after I went to school and finished it, because of society, I finished it because of society. This exact society is the same people that doesn't believe with whatever I learned. So it was just bullshit. I don't believe also zero school, just go to school and everything, but don't give it that much of time. Find your own priorities first. If you don't have priorities, just stay in school. For real though. I really wanted so bad to get off school to start business and stuff. But if you're going to just leave it, just stay on your couch and be a dork, just stay at school. However, I finished school, and I really want to recommend dropping off that shit, but at least have your own time within that time. So basically, you think that technology is ruining life lately, and getting people away from each other and brainwashing them and stuff like that. Yeah, man, I'm really done with the technology shit. I'm even beefed with 90% of the people in my life in this past couple of days, man. And I really thought about breaking my phone or just hiding somewhere and going outside and not going back. You're gonna ask me how your family is gonna call you, how they're gonna make sure you're safe and all that kind of stuff. I don't care. They'll just have to wait until I come back home. I really wish that this is life, man. I even thought about buying an MP3 device that doesn't have any technology except just playing audio files, just to get off the phone, man. But yeah, I think that's a project that I will be working on the next period. Getting off of my phone and having the camera as a camera, the MP3 player as an MP3 player, the computer as a computer. Having all this kind of shit in one device was a mistake. Yeah, bro, really thank you for the sweet talk. I really enjoyed the conversation. Would you like to end up with something feel free to say whatever you like. Yeah, I really want to thank everybody that got stick until the end of that video, and yeah, I really enjoyed the process of making that video of MJ Birds. And you know what? I still believe that the old ways will still have some future, man. Just relying on AI won't get you anywhere. And yeah, cinema is cinema at the end of the day. We are making cinema here, not bad AI reels. So for some reason I'm losing control of my knees. That's really weird. I really want to get that video on the internet as soon as possible because I think that the trend is over. That's crazy. Because of the beefs that I was going through the past couple days, I just like forgot about that project completely, man. I forgot about that. It's trend and it's going to be over, so I just need to clutch that thing because I don't see any more of these reels on Instagram anymore. So I'm not sure if the trend is over or not. So I just need to at least yeah, collect a couple of views. But yeah, thank you again. I'm gonna hit the swimming pool right now. I'm gonna pray first. I'll wait for Maghrib and get that juicy juice. Yeah, again, thank you, Robot, for having you with us today. And yeah, viewers, thank you also for sticking around. We are this close from hitting the end of this video, so I really hope that you enjoyed the whole movie. I really wish you a wonderful night and a wonderful sleep. Assalamu alaikum.